Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to the second Awake Mindful Living experience, a retreat for mindfulness right here in our own backyard, right here in the city. If you were here last time, can you raise your hand? Ooh, lots of new faces. Great. Good. Well, thank you for coming. Today, we're going to get to stay nice and still together, and we're going to hold silence for each other today. Because the reason why our minds are moving so fast, in part, is because we're talking so much. So our speech is tied to our thoughts. So today we're going to ask you to stay silent. Little less speech, a lot less speech. I guess silent is a lot less speech, right? And what you're going to notice throughout the day is it's going to help your mind to settle more. So we're going to walk you through a beautiful day of mindfulness today. And what we're going to do in just a few minutes here is guide you in a basic mindfulness practice. And we're all just going to reconnect our mind with our breath, our mind with our body. Because finding a parking spot and getting here this morning might have taken a lot of movement, a lot of running around, right? So today we're going to have a chance to settle in together. So before we start, one of the most important things when we practice meditation and mindfulness is to remember that we're doing it for all beings, not just for ourselves. Because when we're grounded and peaceful and at ease, we can spread that out into the whole world. So if you, did everyone get a copy of the sheet here on their way in? You can look at a buddy's too next to you if you don't have your own. But this is the opening aspiration. And we just say this 3 times. And we say it together, and we say it like we mean it. Because it's important to, you tend to think about your own peace of mind and your own settling down. And what this is about is you do always start with yourself. It's all about, yes, we do need to settle down, and we do need to find more peace in our own life. But we also want to spread that out to all beings. So we say some loving kindness together here. And we'll say the first one 3 times together. And it's nice to put your hands like this in front of your chest, Anjali Mudra, and say it with me. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness in the root of happiness. May they be free from suffering in the root of suffering. May they never be separated from the highest bliss, which is without suffering. May they come to rest in great equanimity, free from passion, aggression, and prejudice. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness in the root of happiness. May they be free from suffering in the root of suffering. May they never be separated from the highest bliss, which is without suffering. May they come to rest in great equanimity, free from passion, aggression, and prejudice. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness in the root of happiness. May they be free from suffering in the root of suffering. May they never be separated from the highest bliss, which is without suffering. May they come to rest in great equanimity, free from passion, aggression, and prejudice. So we can just take a comfortable upright posture. And if you're just coming in, there's plenty of room up front here for a few more people. So I'm going to guide you through a mindfulness practice. And then we'll talk about what mindfulness means afterwards and what we're going to experience today. Welcome. Hi. Glad you're here. It wouldn't be an official retreat if we didn't ring the bell, right? So. So let's take a comfortable upright posture. Shoulders not too far forward, not too far back. Spine is straight. If you can just get that part, that's the most important. A nice straight spine, and tuck the chin a little bit. Your hands can rest on your knees, or you could place them in this mudra where you put the right palm in the left palm, and you just gently let your thumbs touch together just a little bit below your navel. But wherever your hands rest naturally is fine. We'll gently close our eyes. Or if you like, you can keep them just a little bit open with your gaze 3 to 5 feet down in front of you. Your tongue rests on the roof of your mouth. This is where it rests naturally, and your lips are slightly parted. We start with a few deep breaths, breathing in and out through our nose. And these first few breaths are very intentional and deep. Breathing in a few deep, intentional breaths. Just expanding up your chest and your shoulders on the inhale. And just feeling it settle down on the exhale. Feel the difference between the inhale and the exhale, how it feels in your body. On the inhale, the shoulders are moving up and out. On the exhale, feel that sense of relief, release. Now, no longer controlling the breath, just let the breath return to normal. And simply notice that you're breathing in, breathing out. It's very normal that when you first start your practice that your mind is moving. So what we do is control the breath for a little while with 4-3-5 breath. And what that means is you're breathing in for the count of 4, hold for 3, exhale for 5. And I'm going to be quiet just for a minute or two. Breathing in for 4, hold for 3, exhale for 5. And if you're newer to meditation, it's nice to keep your eyes closed and stay as still as you can, just so we can settle in. And just settling in here together this morning. And just one more moment of breathing in for 4, hold for 3, exhale for 5. And let's let the breath return to normal, no longer controlling the breath. Just conscious that we're breathing in, breathing out. Eyes are closed, staying nice and still. Let's tune into the felt sense of the body. Notice your right pointer finger, right where the nail connects to the skin. Go ahead and tune in. Breathing in, breathing out, aware of that one point. And now let's keep that awareness moving. Let's tune into the belly. Feel the rising and falling of the belly. And as we continue to unite the movement of the mind and body and breath and come into this space together, let's note rising and falling in our belly for a little while. As you breathe in, you notice your belly rises. As you breathe out, you notice the belly falls. Rachel, if you could close the door, that'd be great. Thank you. And all I want you to do is note to yourself, as your belly rises, note to yourself rising. As your belly falls, note to yourself falling. And I'll be quiet for a few moments so that you can enjoy the sensation of the rising and falling of your belly. Simply noting, rising and falling. And now we come back to where we'll come back a lot today. We're going to let go of controlling the breath with the 4-3-5. And just notice the breath moving in and out of the body. And what's going to happen is your mind's going to start thinking. You're going to get pulled away by thoughts, storylines, and dramas. And all your job is today is to simply note to yourself, thinking, or perhaps not now, not now. And just come on back to the awareness of the breath moving in and out of the body. If you have to come back 1,000,000 times today, that's totally normal. You're doing the practice perfectly. So for a little while, just notice breathing in, breathing out, not trying to control it or change anything. When you get pulled away by thoughts, simply note to yourself, not now, not now, or thinking, and return to the awareness of the breath. Coming back home. I know those thoughts are very interesting. So let's give our minds something to do, something to focus on. And staying as still as we can just benefits the practice. Let's notice the texture of the breath. So as you breathe in, breathe out, notice if the breath is choppy or if the breath is smooth. And you can even note to yourself, breathing in, choppy, breathing out, choppy. So just let's tune in and notice the texture of the breath. Not trying to change the breath. Just okay with whatever you see, whatever you're experiencing. Breathing in smooth. Breathing out a smooth breath. Notice what's going on. Let's notice the temperature of the breath now. See if you can feel right where your nostrils, right under your nostrils where the air comes out and hits your upper lip. And you can note to yourself, breathing in a hot breath, breathing out a warm breath maybe. See what it feels like. Really tune in. There's another thing to notice about the breath. Let's make this more interesting than the wandering thoughts and storylines that come in. Notice the length of your breath. Are you breathing in? Notice down to your solar plexus. That would be breathing in short. A little further down towards your belly, breathing in medium. Down into your belly, near your belly button, breathing in long, breathing out long. So let's note. And don't try to change anything. Just see what's going on. And then just return to the simple awareness of the breath moving in and out of the body. And here we are, solid like a mountain, at ease like a sleeping baby, but still alert like a sentinel or a guard for the mind. Let's tune into that solidity and that mountainness, solid like a mountain. Feel your bottom pushing down into your cushion. Tune into the gravity. Tune into your calves. Breathing in, breathing out, aware of your calves. Maybe there's some pressure moving down into the floor. Breathing in, breathing out, aware of your thighs. Tune into your thighs and how they feel. Are they warm, cool, tight, loose? Move up to the belly. This is a nice juicy one. Notice the rising and falling of the belly. Tune into the back body. As you breathe in, breathe out, feel the back body expanding, contracting. Feel the arms and the hands and the heat between your hands and your knees or your palms. Or maybe they're cool. Tune in. Bring your awareness up to your shoulders. Maybe they're tight, maybe they're loose. Just accepting, noticing, not trying to change anything. And we are going to have a wiggle break in just a moment. So if you can just enjoy trying to stay nice and still, just because the body and mind are so intimately connected. A still body will help with a still mind. And we will have one nice wiggle break coming up in just a moment where we can move mindfully. Let's tune into the face. There's a lot there. Feel around the eyes, the temples, your skull. How does it feel to have skin wrapped around your skull? Breathing in, breathing out, aware of the hair on your head. What's that one hair? Pick one hair and really feel right into that. Right where that hair connects to the follicle. That level, tune right in. And right before our wiggle break here, just bring your full awareness to your full body, head to toe. Breathing in, breathing out. How does it feel to have a body? Feel 3 inches out from your skin. Feel 3 inches in. Tune into your heartbeat. Fully embodied. Or maybe your mind's wandering. That's okay too. See if you can gently come back. All right. And now keeping your eyes closed, gently, mindfully make that movement that you want to make so we can settle in for another few minutes. Do that little stretch, move that leg forward, and let's stay silent, mindful. Eyes closed. If you need a blanket for under your ankles, if you came in late, you can mindfully go grab that. And make sure your butt's up on a cushion. And let's come right back in. It's okay if some people are getting blankets. And just 5 minutes left here. Breathing in, breathing out. And we'll spend the next few minutes. First, we got into tuning into the body and the sensations, and next we're going to calm a bit. So as we come into the second half of our practice, let's bring a little smile to our face. Turn the corners of the lips up just a little bit. You can do it. Little smile. There you go. That helps. You got to let the body know that everything's okay. By turning the corners of your lips up, it lets your body know you want to be here. It lets your mind know everything's okay. It sends out a little endorphins, pun intended, to your whole body. Little smile. And now we're going to calm the bodily formation. First, we just noticed where we're at, and we didn't try to change anything. And now we're going to allow it to calm down a little bit. So simple mindfulness, breathing in, breathing out. Let go of something you're holding on to on an exhale. So breathe in. Ooh, that sounded good. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Now the breath wants to get longer, finer, and cooler. So let it happen. Breathing in, breathing out. You get pulled away, you come on back. Let's let the breath get a little longer. See if you can let the breath become a little finer. It wants to become a little less choppy. So on the exhale, just let it go there. Settling in. You're safe here. With that smile on your face, let the breath become a little cooler, a little longer, a little finer. It's very common for the mind to be busy. So we're going to tune into the senses. And this is another way in your mindfulness practice to continue to tune in and just become aware of what's going on. Present moment awareness with non-attachment. Mindfulness. Present moment awareness with non-attachment. It's not about stopping your thoughts. Just let them come, let them go. Your mind's like the perfect blue sky. The thoughts are just like the clouds. Nothing really there. They can seem like a big deal, but just let them come, let them go. Float on by. Or it's like you're on the side of a river. Usually you're in the river, attached to your thoughts, getting pulled right down, right along. This time you're on the bank of the river. Let the thoughts float on by. Present moment awareness with non-attachment. Let's tune into the sense of hearing, one of the 6 senses. In this practice, mind is one of your senses as well. Let's tune into the sense of hearing. And you don't label it car or heating system or whatever you think it may be. You just leave it right at the sense gate, right at the ear. And you simply note hearing, hearing. So let's see what you can hear and almost see what it feels like to hear. And just a couple moments left. You guys are doing great. Hearing, hearing. And next, we'll just do one more sense. The sense of feeling. You're wrapped in skin. Breathing in, breathing out, aware of the sensation of your skin. And for the last few moments, return to the simplicity of the breath. And this is your home base for the day. Whether you're doing Qigong or yoga, some chant later with Tina, or if you're eating a mindful, yummy lunch, thanks to Rachel. If you're using the restroom, and this beautiful space has been provided to us, you keep coming back as your mind gets pulled away. Breathing in, breathing out. You come back to the felt sense throughout the day of the belly rising and falling. As you take a silent walk outside during a break, and feel the sun on your body. Feeling, feeling. Smelling, smelling. Tasting, tasting. That's your job today. You're going to get pulled away again and again by your thoughts, storylines, and dramas. Come on back. And for the last 30 seconds, I'll be silent and let's feel the breath moving in and out. In a moment, you'll hear the sound of the bell. And instead of moving quickly and losing your mindfulness, I just want you to hear the sound of the bell from beginning to end. And just notice hearing. See how long you can hear it. This isn't the end of the practice, this is just the beginning. So with your head down, gently open your eyes just like 3/4. And I know might be some tightness built up in your body. So just gently, slowly, I know it's difficult, start to move around and note each movement. We're going to keep nice and quiet with our speech and with our movements. Maybe your foot fell asleep. See if you can feel the blood starting to move again. Maybe the thought comes up, God, how long was that? Thinking. Let's rub our hands together like this. And just rest them on your eyes. Just feel the warmth of your hands on your eyes. Rub your temples. Put your right hand on your left shoulder and just massage a little bit. Switch to the other side. You can reach down, rub your lower back with your hands. And just see if, I know the thoughts seem more interesting, but see if you can just feel the sensation of rubbing your back after that was about a half an hour sit. That's a good sit. Maybe a little stretch. You know this one from yoga class. Just real slow and gentle. That little smile on your face. It's almost like you love yourself. Instead of just beating yourself up. Not good enough. Pushing. Maybe if I could stretch further, deeper. Out in your everyday life, maybe if I could just make a few more bucks. Oh, I want that new car. Oh, he's working so hard to get happy. What if we've been looking the wrong way, right? Out there. Maybe this happiness and peace we've been looking for is the other way. Inside, right? So I'd love to hear from a few people how your first session went today. Thank you for coming. Who's going to go first? What's your name? Aspen. Hi. Thanks for coming, Aspen. I'm Erik. Nice to meet you.
That was my first guided meditation,
Mhm.
and it was difficult for me to focus because of my
Body pain.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
the breathing really helped.
Mm-hmm.
But I did notice I was blank for a while. That was awesome.
Uh-huh.
No thoughts.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mhm. Thanks, Aspen.
thank you.
Can anyone tell me about their experience with who had no thoughts the whole time? Okay, Raise your hand if you had no sensations the whole time in your body. No? Okay, someone else tell me how their practice went. Tell me about coming back too. I want to hear about coming back when you get pulled away too from at some point. Tina, I know you. Tina's leading later on today for chanting, right? Mindful chant.
Yeah, this was my first guided meditation with you,
Mm.
and your voice, the tenor of your voice, and the texture of your voice was very easy. It was really helping me navigate my way around in here, the senses, and just your cues of just the breathing in and the breathing out and the belly rise and the belly fall. It's just very helpful. Thank you. Your voice is perfect for this. I need to buy your DVDs.
My
I need to have a whole. It's great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tina. So that Tina tuned into the hearing sense, right? So we have 6 senses. So the visual, the hearing, the taste. What else do we have? The sense of the body, right? The felt sense, seeing, and then the mind. And you can notice how your mind feels today too. So I like what Tina said about to her she perceived that as a good sound. So she could say pleasant hearing, pleasant hearing. And that's something to come back to. That we're going to give you so many things to come back to today, because I think we think our minds are so interesting. But when you start to meditate, have you ever noticed how boring it is and how repetitive it is? You probably have like 3 loops, like 3 common loops. Like, and whatever your thing is, if you start to tune in, you're going to see it's not as exciting as you thought. And it might look something like brownie, I want a brownie. But how many brownies can you eat before it turns to suffering? Right? I did it yesterday. With the weather, the weather's been so nice 2 days ago. I was like, oh, this is going to be a perfect day. I'm bringing my kids to the park. It's going to be so good. And believe it or not, it was like awesome at first. Pleasant, just good. And then my little boy, I'm hot, Daddy. It's February. Come on. I'm hot. I want to go inside and cool off. It's like this pleasantness turns to suffering. It's impermanent. Like, it's just like you can't get the lasting peace that we want from impermanent things. It's just always going to change. So, yeah. Anyone else? Yeah. What's your name?
I'm Kylie.
Kylie. Thank you for coming, Kylie.
Thanks. I've done some meditation before, but I've never had anybody say to assign a word to what you're experiencing during the meditation, and that really helped me to conceptualize it that way rather than just floating thoughts, but to give it a word, and that helped me release it a lot easier than just the floating in and out.
What was the word? What?
Oh, the thinking or the
Labeling.
the labeling,
Labeling.
what the experience was.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, rising, falling. You can put your hand on your belly today too if you're finding yourself more spun out than usual or as usual. Rising, falling. So you notice on the inhale, the abdomen rises. Exhale, the abdomen falls. I mean, that's a great place to come back to today, right? Rising, falling. So noting is fantastic. Yeah. So today, I better use my little thing or we'll be out of time before I even get to use my fancy slideshow. So we are going to stay silent today. I really appreciate you doing that. And if you feel like you can't do it for yourself, please do it for the other people. I've sat through many, many long silent retreats, and it is tough, I know, because you think it's so important what you have to say. It's just such a big part of your personality, to talk. This is hard. You want to share that with someone, or whatever it is. But see if you can settle in today. It's really good for you. I've tried it both ways, and I've cheated. I was on a 30-day retreat once. And we weren't supposed to really check in with anyone, just really settle in and quiet the mind. And on day 20, I couldn't take it anymore, and I called my wife. And she told me all about what was going on. And I thought that was a good idea. In the next 3 days, it was just like, oh, the stove's broken at home. Should I have left her for that? It was just like, I lost almost everything that I had gained to really settle in. And when you go home from a long retreat like that, or you go home later today after this one-day retreat, what the gift you're going to give to your family is that you're going to be settled and grounded. And if they're triggered, if they had a rough day today while you were away, you're going to calm them down. Your presence is so important. So see if you can settle in today and keep silent. And we're going to help you do that. If there's a fire or something important, just pull me to the side and let me know. But otherwise, enjoy the silence. Okay, why practice? This is so important to me. Like, I think there's this big mindfulness movement going on right now, and it's like, oh, I do my asana, and now I'm going to meditate because I heard it was good for me. And mindfulness is so good for you. Meditation is so good for you. It reduces your stress levels. What is it called? Cortisol. Like, it reduces those levels in your body. You're going to get less sick. You're going to get less just common colds. You're going to have more resilience. It's so good for you. But really why I want you to practice is because of what the Buddha taught, is that we are experiencing dukkha. So dukkha, and how it translates into English is not the right translation. It's suffering. But what dukkha is a sense that we haven't arrived. This sense that something's not quite right. Dukkha. You're in your car, right? And you're driving down the street, and you notice, you know what would make this better? Is a little music. And you turn it on, and you know the cable that hooks into your iPhone? It's always a little loose and it doesn't quite work. So it's only coming in one speaker. That happened to me this morning. So you're trying to get happy, right? So you're trying to listen to some music as you're driving down. It's crackling. That's not quite good. I'm going to fix the cable. I'll switch to radio. I don't really like this song, right? So you're trying to just get a little more happy, a little more good feeling driving down the street. But what about the temperature in the car? It's like 60 today. Should I open the windows? So you open the windows a little bit, but then it's loud, right? So you close the window. And then you think, oh, maybe I'll adjust the heat or the cooling a little in my car. Never quite there, right? Dis-ease, dukkha, dis-ease. Always trying to get happy. If we were already good and peaceful and at ease, what would we be trying to get all the time? Why would we be looking out into the outside world to get happy and peaceful if we already were experiencing it? So that's what we're talking about today is why we do this practice. I think it's so important to just not show up and say, I'm going to try meditation, because it's hard. Was it hard for anyone these 30 minutes? Anyone? Yeah, it's hard. So why would you do this every day if you don't really know why you're doing it? You got to know why. So I'm not trying to turn you into a Buddhist, that's for sure. I want to confirm that. The 3 jewels that we're taking refuge in. So refuge. What's another word for refuge, you think? Shelter. Perfect. Safety. Perfect. One that starts with P. You're going for protection. Protection. Right? Refuge. So if it was raining out, you'd try to find, like, if you're in Asia, a big banana leaf, right? For shelter. If you're here, a Starbucks, probably. So you get in from the rain, right? So you're going for protection. And what we do, though, usually is, just because the way we're raised, we don't have too much of a spiritual culture in the United States, maybe. We go for refuge to worldly things. We go to refuge for relationships. We go to refuge to get food. We go for refuge by trying to get sex, relationship. So what we're always doing is trying to become peaceful and happy and at ease, but we're going to these worldly things that can only provide temporary happiness, right? So it's not that these worldly things, there's no problem with them. They're great to feel the sunshine on your back and to have relationships. But has anyone here ever broken up in a relationship? Yeah? Imagine, has anyone ever got divorced? Maybe you don't have to raise your hand, but yeah. So that thing you went to that made you so happy in the beginning. Has anyone ever bought a new outfit that you thought would make you happy? No? Only a couple? I'm a dude, and I definitely have done that. You're having an off day, get that credit card, let's go. Come on, there's only 3 of us? All right. There we go. So you go to the mall, right? Because you're having a bad day, and you're like, I'm going to cheer myself up, and I'm going to get a new outfit that I really love. And when you see it, oh, yeah. And you look at the price tag, you're like, oh, no. But you're like, I'm going to do it because it makes me feel good, right? Screw it. And do I have the cash for it? Maybe not. But I got my credit card. Boom, you buy that outfit, right? So today, right, if you went to your closet when you get home today and you open the doors up, is it like angels? And is it like, ah? Does that happen when you open your closet now? Not really, right? That outfit that made you so happy 2 years ago when you bought it. Like, does it really? No, you might even bring it to Goodwill. I have nothing to wear. And you're looking in this closet full of clothes that at one point made you happy. That's same with a lot of stuff, isn't it? Like, I'm not supposed to have dairy, so you get that ice cream cone. And then afterwards, bring me some joy, right? Oh yeah, I got this ice cream cone. And then later I'm like, you don't want to hang out with me. Lactose intolerance, not pretty. Temporary happinesses, think of it, these worldly things. Even if you make it through your marriage, I always think of this, right? I love my wife, she's great and all that. One of us has to die. That sucks. What kind of setup is that? You're going for happiness and to feel good and to have some happiness and joy in your life. And that thing that's bringing you that, she has to die? Oh man, I have to die? Shoot. So going for refuge to worldly things, is it really going to work out and give you the lasting peace you want? I know it brings you the little temporary ones. And I know your trick too, because I do it. What you try to do is line them up right in a row. It's like a vacation, right? So in the morning, I'm gonna go for breakfast. It's gonna be really good. And then they have Bloody Marys? Great, give me one of them. And then I'm gonna surf. And then I'm gonna, it's like this, you're not really peaceful sometimes, even on a vacation, because you're looking for that next thing. You're trying to line them up. You're trying to line up a bunch of temporary happinesses because you think that'll create lasting peace. Because that's why we get up in the morning, is to be happy, right? We want to be happy. We don't want to suffer. We all share that. Anyone not want to be happy? So you wake up, you want to be happy, right? So if you don't know how to do it, if you don't have a practice, and our culture sure doesn't really encourage it, right? It encourages materialism. That's where you're going to get happy, buy the stuff, get the stuff. This isn't good news for the economy, by the way. Because we might just figure out that all this chasing and all this getting, more, better, might not be so necessary. Because if we would just look this way, man, it's all good already. And what are they going to advertise to you then, A simple house, some clean water. I bet Asiana would cook us a nice, yummy meal. All right, so instead of the worldly stuff, we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So Buddha, again, this isn't about becoming a Buddhist. That could be Christ. It could be the sense of source. So we're going to go for refuge to that. So if we want to use the 3 jewels, we'll say Buddha. So not this guy from 2,600 years ago. He was just a guy, right? What we're taking refuge in is in his nature, which is our nature. So what the Buddha did is just like us. He had a really worldly life. He was a prince, and he was in a place where his dad wanted him to take over the kingdom. So he had all the girls, all the nicest things, and his dad kept him in the gates of the palace. He didn't want him to get out into the world. And he just spoiled the Buddha, like nonstop, all the worldly things he could have. And at some point, the Buddha wanted to see what was going on, so he went out into the world, and he saw birth, the suffering that it's not easy having a baby, right? Birth, old age. He saw the guy with the cane, He saw sickness, sick people. He saw death. So those are the things that the Buddha saw when he went out into the world. And so that's what he saw in the real world. So he started to question things a little bit, is it so good? Are these temporary happinesses and really what it's all about? Shoot, I have to die, I have to get sick. So it kind of woke him up to, I better do some spiritual practice. So the Buddha just worked really hard at it for years, right? He went really hardcore for a while. Asceticism, they call it, right? Wouldn't eat anything. They'd hurt themselves thinking, oh, that'll burn out all this negative karma and I'll find peace. That didn't work. So then he went on the other side and he just started to take it really easy on himself, like we're doing today. And he didn't go to some extreme place to meditate. He went under a tree, the Bodhi tree. And he put some kusha grass, they call it. So he made a nice little cushion for himself. So he wasn't sitting on rocks anymore. He sat on rocks for a while. They thought, if we could be we're going to power through this. Like Americans do kind of, right? When I first started Buddhism, it was just like another job. It was just like, I'm going to kick ass with this thing. And that just caused me a lot of pain, as you can imagine. So the Buddha discovered the middle way, they call it, just soft, right? Gentle. And what he discovered when he slowed down, so he sat there, right? And he said, finally, screw it, I'm not going to move from this place until I realize my true nature. Like, that's the kind of dedication it takes. So I'm proud of you for getting through a half an hour, but it might take a few more minutes. And that's okay. But he did it with this softness, right? And he sat there. He said, I'm not leaving until I see my true nature. And all these deities came to him. They say, like Mara. He came in so many different ways, tempted him with dancing girls, beautiful girls, tempting him with food, visions of food. And do you guys ever meditate and have those kind of thoughts? Like, oh, I'd much rather be cuddling with my man in bed right now. Oh, shoot, I could have went to brunch instead of this, right? So those are the temptations, right? But that's worldly stuff that's not going to create the lasting happiness and peace that you really seek. So he kept going back, right? And he did this practice. Where this is so important, these practices, this is the foundational practice where you're going to realize the nature of your mind. There's just a few more steps after mindfulness. But the first thing is coming back, right? And as the thoughts start to slow down and you settle in, he did a practice of concentration. And eventually he saw his true nature. Perfect, spacious, limitless. I mean, incredible, right? No death, no birth, right? And that's the nature we all share. So when you go for refuge, go to refuge to the Buddha inside yourself. So if you don't know it yet, if you haven't had those little peaks of your perfection, I will tell you 100% you share this nature. If you think you're broken or you don't know how perfect you are, I want you to know that you are absolutely perfect. Limitless. So take refuge in the Buddha. Take refuge in the Dharma. These are the teachings. It doesn't have to be the Buddhist teachings, but it does have to be an authentic path. So don't just believe something Erik makes up today.